Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. The car I'm driving right now could remind you of something from the future when looking around in here, as today we're taking a look at the AMG GT 4-door. It is a beautiful spring day today, and I would say without further ado, let's find out and experience how good the latest of Mercedes is. Alright, so this is the new AMG GT 4-door then. This specific car is the AMG GT 43. So there are 4 different configurations and engine levels you can have. So the 43, that is the entry level engine for this car, produces 367 horsepower coming out of a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine, turbo engine, which is really cool, and we're gonna experience in a second what's all about the turbo in this car. And then we have the AMG GT 53, that is 435 horsepower, also coming out of the 6-cylinder engine. And then we step up to the V8 class, that are the AMG GT 63 with 585 horsepower, and then finally the AMG GT 63S that produces a whopping 640 horsepower out of the beautiful turbocharged V8 then. But right now we're in the car that I would say is the most affordable car out of the line of the new AMG GT 4-doors. So this is a coupe, and my god, it takes a second to realize that you're not in a spaceship but in a car, as I have to say the interior is incredible. In my opinion, Mercedes have managed to step up the game and outrun the competition when it comes to the interior, the looks, and with all the big displays you have in here and just the materials, how everything is worked out. It just feels so nice and so well, and the quality is so incredibly high. But I'm gonna give you a more detailed insight of the interior in a minute, but for now I thought I'm gonna start today's review with driving this car, as this is a performance machine, but also a car that has 4 doors now and is a daily driver. So how cool is that? So with the 367 horsepower, this car runs with 500 Newton meters of torque, and from 0 to 100, this acceleration happens in only 4.9 seconds. The weight of this car is 2 tons, so it's not that heavy, I would say, if we compare it to other cars in this sort of spectrum. But obviously with all the technology in it, that weighs quite a bit. Now before I'm gonna dive into this review, I want to say a massive thank you to Stern Garage, which is a local Mercedes-Benz dealership here in the eastern part of Switzerland, for providing me this car and giving me the opportunity to do this review for you. This is definitely something that isn't for granted, to just get such an exclusive car to film a review. So big thanks to Stern Garage. I put their links in the description. They unfortunately do not have Instagram yet, but they do have a Facebook account and a website, so make sure to check that out and give their Facebook page a like. So the competition of the AMG GT 4-door, I would say, is the BMW 8 Series Grand Coupe, and if we head up the line to maybe Porsche, I would say the Panamera. And those are the cars I'm going to compare this to. and I'm into this review 3 minutes now, and interior wise this car is already killing it. But not only the interior, also the exterior of this car, the overall sculpture and the design of this car is just so aggressive, so nice, but at the same time it's so sleek and elegant. So Mercedes kind of managed to combine all the different factors you can put into a car into building the perfect coupe. So we are currently driving in the softest setting, so we are driving in comfort, everything is in soft. But to change the driving modes, you have two different options. So option one is you have the switch here on your steering wheel where you can change the driving modes, but on your center console here in the middle, you also have a button to change the different driving modes. And we're now finally heading to a part where we have better speed limits. So we're gonna move this switch here to the right, and now we're in sport mode. Now this car is also equipped with the performance exhaust system, which means that we have an exhaust button that we can press right up here on your center console, and then you can instantly hear how the valves of this car open. Now another cool thing about this car is that it has a wing. So you have a button here that you can press, and then you have the wing coming out in your rear mirror. How cool does that look? Can you hear the engine? So now let's focus on the engine. We're in sport, the engine is warm, and we're gonna find out how good this 3-liter 6-cylinder is. But whoa, I gotta say, sounds completely different than what I thought it would sound. Listen to this. Ooh, and crackles as well. This is what we know Mercedes for. The downshifts, we're in 3rd gear now. Just an easy acceleration. So the car has the 9-speed Mercedes gearbox that is incredibly quick. So 3rd gear, 2nd gear. So we're gonna give it a first quick pull now to find out what it feels like. So really good acceleration. And the crackles again, every time you release throttle you have, oh, it sounds so good. Every time you release throttle you have the crackles making some noise and making this whole experience a lot better. Alright, let's try this again now. 2nd gear, full kickdown. So now this is where the turbo comes. At around 3,500 to 4,000 RPMs, you hear how the turbos really kick in and give this car the boost. And the sound of this car is brilliant. So good, such a good sounding car. Now what do I notice? So I noticed that the throttle response changes big time compared to Comfort and Sport. Also the steering is so direct. I mean, I'm not driving on any mountain pass where you could definitely find out how direct the steering really is, but just driving and cruising around on these corners here, you can already feel that Mercedes put a lot of effort into making this car a performance car with great driving abilities. And I mean, the steering is so direct and it's much harder compared to Comfort as well. I'm sorry, I keep doing downshifts. It's just so much fun in this car. And besides the amazing driving abilities, just sitting in here is already an event itself, with the big displays in front of you, great overview, and obviously the spoiler in the rear that looks so cool. Now my goal is to provide you with some details that you can't really read in all the car magazines and wherever. And one of these points is the smell in this car. So Mercedes have developed a specific smell just for the AMG GT 4-door, and I have to say I really like it. And that's just another part that comes with the car as well, just how a car smells and all the materials in here. And it's just a feeling inside this car when driving it. So with the flat bottom steering wheel, with the nice leather touches around here, then here a thing that always pops out is the engraved Mercedes badging here for your gear selector, which is in the center here. Just all these smaller details that add up to an incredibly impressive interior. The individualization options for this car is sheer endless. There are so many possibilities to configure your car, to individualize your car, that is just so cool. I configured a AMG GT 43 yesterday evening, and I came up to a price of around 160,000 Swiss francs, but I have to say I put in a lot of options. 150,000 Swiss francs, in my opinion, it is a lot of money, but you also get a lot of car for your money. You always have to consider that. I mean, the crackles are really phenomenal. Shifting times are absurdly quick, and then this deep grumble of a sound of this 6-cylinder, unlike anything I've heard before, but I really like it, so great job from that perspective. And we thankfully also have rear axle steer that you can feel when driving, and I mean the car is 5 meters long, so the rear axle steer definitely helps you out, especially in corners like this here, taking that with a bit of speed. I mean, just look how stable this car floats through these corners. Alright, that's about it for the driving facets of this car, and we're now gonna stop and I'm gonna show you the interior quality of the new AMG GT 4-door. Just one more time. Let's get the window down. Second gear. Alright, we find ourselves on the inside of the AMG GT 4-door. And first of all, the thing you really notice is the craftsmanship that went into the interior design of this car. So we have these two massive displays here up front that actually looks like it's one big display with the split in between. The rev counter, the speedometer, everything is digital in this car. Also the main infotainment system, everything is digital in here. We then have these really cool air vents here in this turbine design, which looks amazing in my opinion. Some gloss black parts, which the only problem here is with fingerprints. That's a bit of a thing, but other than that, amazing. You can individualize the interior here with all different sorts of materials. It's so cool. You should definitely check out the configurator and configure your own car. There are so many different options, it's sheer endless. We then have the sport seats, which are super comfortable, give you lots of stability when driving. Also, big center console here. Everything is just sorted out so well. It just, everything belongs to a perfect spot. There's no button that has no function, so I really like the interior. So let's just get the ignition on for a bit, and then you have all the different buttons here. So there are buttons, but these buttons have these sort of displays underneath them with the image of what part of the car you're changing. So you can press this one for suspension as an example. Here you can get the ring up in the rear that we can just hear coming up right now, and here we have the exhaust button that you can press that opens and closes the valves exhaust system. Then we have this nice touchpad here with which you control and also for example if you want to head over to maps, and then you can write with this pad here, which is really cool, and it also gives you this sort of response when touching it, which is really cool, and I think that's something that is really important. We also have the panorama roof, which is super cool, and the gear leader here in the center. Big and nice gear leader. Everything just feels really nice. So this is the front part of the car, but since this car has 4 doors, we want to find out how much space we have in the rear. So let's find out. Alright, we now find ourselves in the rear of the AMG GT. We have lots of space. Well, my seating position is quite forward because I'm not the tallest human being in the world, but lots of space for your legs and also headroom. It's quite limited, I would say, if you compare it to other cars. That's just due to the shape of this car. But sitting in the rear, we also have heated seats in the rear as well, your climate controls and everything. So let me know what you think of the interior in the comment section. In my opinion, everything, the whole package of this car is just brilliant. Alright, let's run you through the exterior of the AMG GT4 real quick. I mean, just look at the aesthetics and the design language of this car. Just looks so aggressive with the Pan America grille in the front, as you can see, looking really nice. Such an energetic and aggressive design language of this car. We then have the AMG wheels in black here, 21-inch wheels on this car, looking really nice. And then just the sleek and long design of this car heading to the rear. Then here in the rear we have the sleek, long and sharp lights that have the similar motion that other car manufacturers as Audi has as well. Looks really good when turning. We then have the wing that comes out here in the rear, looking super good as well. And then here on the lower part we have the exhaust. So for the AMG GT 43 and 53 we have 4 circular designed exhaust tips, and for the 63 versions we have the boxley shaped exhaust tips. Alright guys, and that is basically it for today's review with the AMG GT 43. I'm ending this video on a different location as we have a beautiful sunset happening over there real soon, and I did not want to miss that. Huge thanks again to Stern Garage for giving me the opportunity to film this car for you today. It was a really special car and a fun car to drive. I hope you enjoyed the review as well. Please leave a like or a comment if you did so, and I'll see you soon guys.